Hey guys, welcome to another episode of our Heffe Shop. This week we are going to go buy another car. So I said in episode 90 with the goals that I had another car in the pipeline and was trying to get it sorted. So I've been chasing this car for 4 months, but we're going to go pick it up in a minute. So Dad will be here very shortly and we'll go pick it up. Alright, so we got the Ranger. Dad's helping me out today. Got the trailer. Just got to check the lights and make sure everything works. Alright, so I just got home. I had to rush a bit because we were running late with the trailer. So pushed it off the trailer. It's in the driveway. This is my new KE25. So I've got 4 KE20s obviously, but this is a 25. Live near the beach. So this is the better shape. It's the fastback, so I'm going to use all the parts from the 20s that I've got and make this thing into something a bit nicer than it is. So you can see the back window and the boot are kind of in line, whereas with the 20 it comes down and then there's a boot, which is like more of a separate notch. So this guy's had this for 10 years and it's sat, and he swapped the motor and he's driven it maybe half a dozen times, and that's about it. So needed to be saved, but it is a bit rusty in places, but that's easy enough to fix. Came with a few good bits, like the Levin grill, and it's got the, I don't think that's the correct steering wheel, but it's got a sports steering wheel, center console and everything. It's a bit rough, but it's all fixable. There's a new bonnet molding or apron. It looks like an apron topper thing. A few windows and stuff inside. It's got the flares, it's got the rear ducktail, and it's also got the front little chin spoiler thing. So can be a very cool car once I get into it. So this means I can cut up the 20s, get the bits that I need for this as rust repairs wise, keep all the good bits, get rid of them and work on this. Alright, so we got the KE25 in the shed. Got a fresh painted set of 12s and the old tyres off my wagon on it. So 3 of those are on, the back corner's not on, doesn't matter. So it's all in. We got the bonnet off, so Dad and I actually jimmied this and pretty much knackered the bonnet that was already really rusty, popped it open, and we've got the side draft Delorto, I think it is. Yeah, Delorto. And then it's got extractors, and that's about it really. So it's all reasonably above board. Doesn't look too horribly messed with. It has still got water in it, which is a good sign, I guess. So I spent 4 months trying to buy this. So the video with Graham in it, the KE25 restoration in 1 day video, that's when he showed me this. And it was a friend of his. It wasn't actually for sale. So I got details off of Graham and then contacted the guy. His name was Tyson, and I spent 4 months messaging him pretty much every week. There's a fair bit of rust in the boot, but that's all fixable. So I spent pretty much 4 months every weekend messaging him, seeing if I could come and look at the car, and it took that long for him to respond twice. So finally got to go look at it, came up with a price, or he came up with a price. I thought it was pretty fair, and then it took another week for him to actually agree to the price that he had said, so that was a bit funny. But there's some kind of bog in the roof as well. But it's all here now and everything seems pretty good. So it's a good chassis to build off of. It has got a few dents and a bit of rust here and there, but overall it's reasonably solid as far as I can tell so far. So what I want to do today is take the front end off, so the guards, the bumper, the headlights and everything, and probably the doors, and see, I'll jack it all up and see how bad it is underneath or how good it is underneath. And then when I get some time I can cut up the K20s and work out which bits I need and which bits I don't need, and get all the stuff I can to help save this. And then whatever else I have left over, I'll build that early 20 out there or put it all together, piece it all together and sell it as like a roller type thing. But we'll see how we go. So I also want to see this weekend if I can make this run. It hasn't run in probably 3 or 4 years, so it'd be interesting to see if I can actually get it going. And apparently never really had much luck with the new carby and new engine, so I'll have to see if it's any good or if it's no good or whatever. So it's not too bad really, but that engine's coming out anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I have a 7K and a 5-speed that I could put in this. I have 2 actually, one in my wagon and 1 spare. Or I have a beams that's in the Stout, which would be like a later project if I was going to do that. Or I could put something else in there completely. So for now, I'd like to strip the engine bay, get it repainted in whatever color I decide I want to do the whole car, and then put the 7K in and make it all run and drive and everything. Get a good bonnet for it, and then patch up the bits of rust and sort of just drive it around like this for a bit. And then later on, when I have a bit more time and some other stuff's out the way, then do the rest of the bodywork and make it actually look really good. So I don't know how much I'm going to do before I call it done for now. I just want to try and get it like salvaged, saved, and a good base for later on, because I do want to finish some other stuff first. That, maybe that. That's going to be a long time away. I'd love to get this back on the road as well, so this is probably going to be a back burner kind of project, but I might get it running and driving and fix the rust just so I can drive around every now and again. So one thing I did notice is the boot spoiler, the apron and the guards, they're actually fiberglass, which is a bit disappointing. I knew this one was, because obviously it's got heaps of cracks and stuff in it, but with a bit of research and a bit of digging, these are fiberglass as well. So that kind of sucks, but I'll probably go either no flares or big flares anyway, so we'll see how we go. I've got a mate that's an engineer, Mr. Ronnie, so I'm going to try and talk to him and see what I can do with wheel sizes and if I can actually get decent sized flares and decent sized wheels and have it all legal, because that would be pretty cool. So let's pull this front end off. Alright, so I got the front end off, the guards and the apron and stuff, and it looks alright. There's a bit of surface rust through here. Obviously it looks super crusty, but it's actually not too bad. I'll have to buzz it back to see how bad it really is. Coming down here looks all pretty good. This section looks reasonably solid, which is good because they always rot out here. Again, have to wire wheel that to find out. All the arch looks pretty good. All the inner arch, sorry. And then the front rad support looks pretty good as well. Oh, sorry, this bit, the rad support. This bit's been cut out for the intercooler. So this had a turbo supercharged 4K in it at some point. There's a video on YouTube, I'll link it. It's actually pretty interesting, but that's what that's for. Everything looks pretty good. The front rad support again, down the bottom, needs a wire wheel, but it looks pretty solid. And even from underneath, it still looks pretty solid, so happy with that because they're always gone, so that's really good. And then again across the top, a little bit of crud, but it looks reasonably solid. And then down the arch, inner arch, all pretty good. And again, that front sill section is also pretty unrusty. So that's awesome news. The guards, this one's got a patch on, this one's got a patch on the bottom. This one hasn't got a patch on the bottom, but it has rust, and it has a patch for the antenna, so that's actually not too bad. There's only that little bit there. And then this one, that bottom section is not great, and then it's actually a bit bent at the front. They're both a bit ragged, but they're not too bad. The apron's reasonably good, but it's also been cut for this hole, so the apron comes up to hard against that normally. It's been cut out, so new apron would be good, and then fix those guards, or if I've got some others, because I've got a bunch of KE20 stuff, use those. So we'll see how we go. I'm also not sure if I want to do early or late front end, so this is the late front end with the pointier bonnet. So you can see that grill there, and you can see sort of the point where the bonnet would be. And then the early style, here's one for reference. The earlier style is very flat across the front, so all the way across there is really flat, and the bumper's a bit different, I think. So either or, I have both options here, so that's good to know. So that's pretty much all I wanted to check. I'll take the doors off as well, just for fun's sake, and then see if I can get it fired up maybe tomorrow. So I'll take the doors off and empty it out. Alright, so doors off. Got the torch on so it looks a whole lot worse, but I can actually see what I'm looking at. It's pretty good. Really? I'm actually really happy with that. Seems all pretty solid. I'd really like to buzz it all back, but I'm not going to do that today. And then come around the other side. It's pretty good again. So I would say here forwards is really good on the car. Not so much the back half, but we'll see how we go as we get along. I'm really stoked with that actually. That's pretty sweet. The front end's really quite good. I'd like to fix that obviously, and clean up the paint and stuff, and we'll buzz it all back and paint it again. So I'm going to try and get this engine started, and then I'll probably rip it out and start working on the engine bay, make it a bit nicer, and try and get it all cleaned up really, and then do the back and the interior later. That doesn't really bother me too much, but I'd like to get it running and driving with a nice engine bay. So that's probably it for this episode. Thanks heaps for watching, and we'll see you next week on our Heffe Chop Shop.